just gonna quickly share with you guys 2 things that we wish we knew before getting married, because there's certain things that you're like, whoa, I didn't know about this. Someone should have warned me before getting married. And the first one is going to be?
The first one is that marriage is not a performance.
It is not. It's not a world stage. It's not Moses Mabhida. It's none of those things.
It's not generations.
Not much.
So sometimes when you grow up, you sort of get an idea of what a wife is supposed to do, what a husband is supposed to do.
Exactly.
The husband is supposed to go to work and bring home some moolah, only to find that maybe your marriage is different.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't necessarily have to cook every day, be cleaning every now and then, and so on.
Just like you were doing, like when you're playing house, you know.
Playing house, I just prefer clean house. So yes, you'd find that your husband prefers that you get someone else to come do the cleaning so that you can do other things with him. So you really need to find what works for your marriage.
Exactly. That speaks to listening and communication.
Yeah.
So if you can listen to what your husband or your spouse basically, what do they prefer? Because you might be doing things, focusing your energies on the wrong things, only to find out that you don't even feel appreciated because he doesn't see the need. But then when you do the things that matter to him, then when you listen to him and then you do those things that matter to him, you'll be happy. You'll both be happy, basically.
Yes.
So no marriages are the same. Forget about that template that you came with from your mumamncane or whatever.
2 things I wish I knew before we got married. That in marriage there's a lot of forgiving. That I'm gonna need to do a lot of forgiving. They're also gonna forgive me. And the second one would have to be patience. In marriage, it's actually 2 people trying to be one. So you can imagine you grew up differently, you've got different principles that you were raised under in your own different homes, and now you're trying to merge all of those and become one. So it's quite a challenge, it's quite a daunting task. So yeah, I wish I knew that there's that much forgiving that needs to be done and a lot of patience.
You know, we always get told that the husband is the head of the house, which he is.
Yeah.
The husband should be the priest of the house, which he should be. But it doesn't mean that you should take a step back from your faith and your commitment to Christ. So you need to also be still in connection and communication with Christ, so that when you come together as husband and wife, you come together as children of God who are still seeking and still praying and still loving on God together as a couple.
You know, I wish I knew that one day I would have to skip watching soccer because she'll be watching as Sophie. Not to be on the serious note, I think one of the main issues was to resolve conflicts, not only between the 2 of us. That's a strong key, obviously, between the 2 of us, but also with families and third parties and someone else, because you need to be able to resolve issues without looking as if you are being biased. You need to be able to resolve issues in a good manner and have good communication skills with your wife to say, no, my wife, you are wrong in this way, you need to apologize. If it's the family or the third party, you also need to put it in a good manner and for them to be able to see that you are not taking side, but we are trying to resolve the conflict and then finding a way forward.
There's a lot of unlearning to do and self-introspection.
True.
Yeah, because we come from different backgrounds, from different families, people that tell you this is what life is based on their own experiences. And then you find out when you come into this marriage thing,
work.
the other person also has different ideas. Who's right? Probably you are both not right. So you have to find something that works for your own marriage.
Your own family culture.
As your own family culture, something and now that requires a lot of self-introspection. You sit and you're like, okay, do I really want to keep this idea that I have, or do I want to keep the marriage? You know,
You have to choose.
You have to choose. So, and you know, one thing that I learned is that as you are doing that self-introspection, sometimes it might not be the easiest of things, because it's very easy to point faults at the other person.
For me, the first thing would be that, hey, I wish I knew how hectic it is to have a family. So we recently had our son who's about a year old now, and hey, it's hectic. It changed a lot for us. But yeah, we love being parents.
It's good.
It's great. It's such
Enjoying
a pleasure.
Things that I wish I knew before I got married will be that it is not going to be an easy road for me into making relations and bonding with my extended in-laws, because I'm coming from a different family. Now I'm meeting new people. They have their own ways of doing things. They have their own ways of dealing with things, and I'm used to to the people that I was with, which were my family before. So now I have to blend and bond with them, and people are different, they come from different backgrounds and all that. So that was one of the hardest things for me, to actually adapting into accepting them for who and what they are.
The things that I wish I'd known before we got married is that transition where you move from thinking only about yourself, that is selfish, to a point where you think about your family, where you become more selfless. So with me, one of the biggest things I wish I'd known is the amount of time that I'd need to contribute or need to commit to have this marriage relationship work. Because initially I thought that I'd be able to come into this marriage and things would continue in the same vein. I'd be able to spend as much time with my friends, be able to spend that extra hour or two just chilling with colleagues after work. But because I want this marriage to work, I realized that I'd have to cut some of those things.
The second thing would be getting rid of those habits. Hey guys, you know that one, your mother's house where you're not allowed to drink things from the fridge.
But I don't do that.
Yeah, but it's just an example.
Okay,
you know?
all right.
Or not putting down the toilet seat.
The reason why God created marriage is for Him to work on you, to work on your issues and to transform you.
Even on expectations, like your understanding and your expectation of love, it also changes.
True.
That, you know, what you thought love was when you were dating is not what you want love to be when you're married. And it's also important to communicate those expectations and not just be upset and then not say and think, oh, you should know this by now, you know. Actually talk and say, you know, I don't like this, or this is actually what I want now, this is how I've changed and I'd like you to come on board. And equally so, as much as ladies, you want to communicate your change, the guys also change as well. You need to communicate to say, you know what, this is actually what I like and what I would like you to do. And don't think, oh, this person has changed, but understand that you guys are evolving, which means the love is also evolving. The marriage is also growing and evolving as well.
You should treat marriage as a mirror, not as a window. So when we are faced with a challenge, look at yourself, look at the reflection. Don't be quick to look through the window to see, oh,
what did you
yeah,
do
is their
wrong?
fault. Yeah, she told a very bad joke, and then, you know, all those kind of things. So basically, yeah, that is what we have learned. Well, we wish we learned before before coming into marriage, but we are learning now, and God is helping us through His grace.
Yes.
And thank you.